well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. I'm your host, Mike Bara, in Las Vegas, Nevada, riding solo on a casual Friday, just a couple of weeks before Christmas. We're about 13 days, 12, 10, 13, something like that, days before Christmas. So hope everybody's in a good mood, getting ready to come on and getting ready to have Christmas come on and have some great things happen. So I'm excited to have all of you guys here. We're going to just do a quick news update, and then Matt from the CBD Gurus is going to join us to talk CBD. And I feel very strongly that CBD has played a very important role. Matt's medicines and stuff play a very important role in Barkley's recovery. And so what I want to remind everybody is don't forget that Barkley actually does have a GoFundMe, and I can appreciate it. We made our initial goal. He's got another test coming up in about a week for another $400. So it would be great if you could, if you want to contribute to that. Anything you want is fine by me, and it will help pay the bills. That's always an important thing to do. We all have struggles, so I'm just going to put that link in the chat and just let you guys know that you've made a great impact on Barkley's health, which is recovering pretty amazingly. He can see farther now. Like yesterday, I was taking him out for a walk, and there's this lady that he likes that used to give him treats. I don't let her give him treats anymore because I don't know what caused the blindness in the first place. But we turned a corner, and he saw her a good 100 feet up the road, which is amazing. There's this mid-range where he can't see very well, but when you get close to him or when you're far away, he can see. It's just very odd. All right, let's see what we got here. Ron is here. Ron Davidoff. Thank you, Ron. Let's get this done. Back to the Times Infinity. Ray Freedom's this beautiful cover picture. Okay, well, you're welcome. Wolvie, TNT, and Bruce are confident about this weekend. Anyone hearing similar from others? Well, that's what we're going to do when we get to the news update in just a couple minutes. Let's see. Can't get excited about it until stuff happens. Can't blame you for that. The ups and downs are very hard. With silver dipping, I bought some more. Imagine silver dipping to like 62 or 63, and you feel like that's a dip. Okay, yeah. Remember when it was 15? Remember when one of these was $15? Andy Sheckman, thank you for that, by the way. Andy gave me this last time he visited Vegas for a conference, and it was about $15 when he gave it to me, and now it's worth 3 times that. So thank you very much, Mr. Sheckman. When will we know for sure? Yeah, when there's a legit email in our inbox. Positive vibes. Everybody stay positive. That's why I've got the festive Christmas decorations up. So a lot of negativity there. Julian Calendar. Tell Barkley, Auntie Rika. I will, Frederica. Thank you very much. You've been very supportive. I appreciate that. What's up? Please RV today. I don't know if we're going to get that, but there's always a possibility. Underwater here in Snohomish Valley. Yeah, I'll bet. Love the background, Mike. So happy about that. Truly pretty much amazing. Let me pop over to Rumble real quick and just remind you guys that you can support the show for a mere $5 a month, or you can Rumble rant. That's always appreciated. Jen and I share those slight revenues. We share those, split them 50-50. Same thing with super chats over on YouTube, and just anything is appreciated because it's holidays and everybody's got bills to pay. So, excuse me. There's Robin. Hi, Robin. How are you? Happy holidays. Robin, we don't say happy holidays around here. We say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's what we say. So, just so you know. Clarity Act to be on Trump's desk for signature at 3 p.m. Okay, let's move into a news segment and talk about a few things that are important, because I've been seeing stuff in the chat, and Matt is here with us. We're just going to let him sit there for a couple more minutes and then bring him in, talk about the wonders of CBD. But let me give you the news update as it stands now. The last things I have heard are that we're ready to go. We're ready to go for this weekend. There are people like Bruce from the Big Call and Wolvie and others who have said this is exciting. This is supposed to happen and it could come out Saturday. Why Saturday? Because that is when the Gazette comes out. It comes out on this Saturday, and it's going to be Saturday in Iraq very soon, in a couple of hours. So that's an important possibility, part where we could see a rate. Now, what we're looking for is notifications that we can go forward. So those could happen at any time. And it's important to understand that that's what we're looking for. We're not necessarily looking for a public rate. We don't care about that. We're a private event. We're a private group. We're not investors. We're a private group that have read EOs and gotten smart. And we're ready to do our exchanges now. Whether they are ready for us is disputable. If you would watch the news, you'll see there's a bunch of things happening. It's now proposed that the areas that Russia currently occupies are going to be a neutral zone between Ukraine and Russia, and that it may be patrolled by the USA. The Russians are not going to trust NATO. They are not going to trust the UN. They might trust the USA. What this is it is simply a face-saving agreement, because what will happen then is that those areas that are occupied by Russia, which are the only areas they wanted, if they wanted more, they could have taken it at the time. Those areas will simply become Russian. They will have another vote. And once again, the people that live there who are Russian are going to vote, we want to be part of Russia. And eventually it will simply become not a neutral zone like on Star Trek, but it will actually become Russian territory, which it is supposed to be. So that is very close. What's going on in Venezuela is important. We are waiting for Maduro to be taken down. He gave a speech yesterday. It didn't sound like he wanted to be ousted, or that he was leaving anytime soon. But those negotiations, according to many channels, continue. Now, if those things happen, then we have no more excuses for doing the RV. And let me just tell you, it's all an excuse. Okay, it's all just an excuse. The RV could have happened August 1st. It was supposed to happen August 1st, and somebody killed it. The people who are killing it keep killing it because they keep wanting to add new things to it before they will let it go. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. Now, other people like Sky out of Australia are a lot more optimistic. They think that the short-term possibility between Saturday and the 15th, which is Monday, is an ideal time and it could happen. I have other people who I love and trust who tell me, no, it's not going to be until mid-January or late January at the earliest. I don't know what their basis is for that, but the basis of it appears to be having agreements in Ukraine and having agreements, a new regime in Venezuela. So that's where that stuff stands. Now, there is one other thing I want to address. We should get our notifications before it goes into the Gazette. So that would be the way it would work. So there's one other thing I want to explain to you. I saw some stuff in my chat, which is kind of one of the things that motivated me to come out here, the Telegram chat, about how the Zim is going to pay out. And I heard somebody say, oh, you're going to get 3 million or 11 million or 33 million per 100 trillion note. And then you can get more than that if you do humanitarian projects. So I want to come in here and straighten you out. That is not how it's going to work at all. You're only going to get 3 million, 11 million, or 33 million per 100 trillion note. You're only going to get that if you participate in projects, in humanitarian projects. Now, we don't know the rules on this yet, but we think it is set up so that you can contribute to existing programs. If you say, yes, I want to support humanitarian projects because I want to get higher rates or whatever your motivation is, And there's supposedly going to be a list of humanitarian projects you can contribute to. You don't necessarily have to manage it yourself, but that may not be true. Keep in mind, that may not be true. It may be that you only get those higher numbers if you actually are managing a humanitarian project. Nobody knows yet because it hasn't happened yet. What I can tell you is if you don't do humanitarian projects, you're going to get about $50,000 per 100 trillion. Because that 100 trillion note generates a number with massive amounts of zeros. Those numbers cannot be activated unless you put your signature to them. That is how money is actually created. The potential of that note is, let's say, $100 billion. But that can't be utilized unless you give it your permission. You give it your authorization to be used. So in order to do that, you have to contribute to humanitarian projects. And what you receive is going to be 3 million, maybe 11 million, maybe 33 million per note. Now that is going to depend on the volume that you have. If you have one of those notes, you're probably going to get 3 million. If you have 5, you're probably going to get 11 million per note. And if you have 25 or 30, you're probably going to get 33, the higher number, the 33 million per note, or even the 50 million. Also, if you, and you're going to get 20% up front, and the rest is going to be a structured payout over time. Now, you can choose 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. The longer the payout, the larger the value you get. If I choose a 30-year payout, then, and I have enough, I have, let's say, 25 Zim notes, then I can probably get 50 million per, so I get credit for that. I get a higher interest rate, which accumulates every year that my payout goes. So I end up with more money per year for 30 years. That's how it works. And you might have to pay taxes on it. So when people tell you don't have to pay taxes on it, the IRS still exists. Until the IRS ceases to exist, you will probably have to be paying taxes on it. So let's clear that up. If you don't participate in humanitarian projects, you're not going to get much of anything for yourselves, because that's what they're going to be used for. So there you have it. And that is just the Zim 100 trillion bond notes that I'm talking about. Anything else? Gazette just posted. Someone said, "Do they?" No, it doesn't post till Saturday. And it is also correct that the online Gazette is not the same as the paper one that's printed. The longer the payout, the less chance you will live long enough. Well, okay. I'm sure there's going to be provisions for you to pass that on to your further generations. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's bring in our friend Matt Johnson from the CBD Gurus, talking about CBD oils. Matt, how you doing this morning or afternoon over there in Minnesota? How's it going? Is it snowing there?
Oh, doing great. You know, but it's very cold. It's going to get a lot colder apparently. And if it gets too noisy in the background, just let me know. I was just going to go through the specials first and then go run into the office because I just don't have a computer working in there, you know?
Okay.
Right? Let's do that. We'll do the specials and then I'll run in the office so we can do some talking there.
Okay. So, now to catch the specials, what you have to do is go to the cbdgurus.com, slide over to the wholesale tab, slide down to Mike B Wholesale, which is now third on the list, used to be second. Click on that and type in your discount code, which in my case is ALIEN, ALIEN, all lowercase, no S on the end, no capital A, just ALIEN. Right, Matt?
Okay.
That's 100% right. And then you're in the specials there. You'll be right in the specials when you hit that. And I'll just tell you all the special stuff, then I'll get back in there where it's not so noisy, you know. So anyway, so when you're in the specials, you guys, you get every order 25 or more, you get a 30 count K2 day 3 30 count gummies. And then 75, you get you get that $75 after shipping and discounts. You get that product plus 10 million Bolivar. If you get up to 125, you get that product with 25 million Bolivar. And then if you have any problems with your order or anything, or you have some questions, give a call at 612-412-8343, and we'll help you out if you need that. Otherwise, you can do the order yourself. And then the things we have on special this week are 2 30-count gummies for $40. You save about 20 there. 2 sleep gummies, 30 counts, $40. We got the mushroom coffee, with 2 pounds for 50, or without CBD, 2 pounds for 50. Some people, there's not very many, but a few will want it without the CBD for whatever reason. I have no idea. And so, anyways, we have 3 quarter-pound mushroom coffee bags for 20, or you can get 7 for 40. So if you want a cheap little Christmas present for the people around you, just get 7 of them, keep 1, give 6 away.
All right.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And then we've got our Miracle Gold gummies, 2 of those for 42. The ACV gummies, 45 count per jar. Those are 2 for 28. We've got the Lion's Mane, 2 120 counts for $50. Turkey Tail, 220 counts for $50. We've got chocolates. We got a nice special on those if you like THC. Remember, they're pretty strong. They're 15 milligrams a piece. Yeah. We have chocolates, nuggets, caramels, peanut butter nuggets, the Dubai chocolates, and those are 4 for $11. And then we've got the fruit chews. Those are 15 milligrams too. Those are 5 for $10. That's cool. And if you never tried that before, like for sleeping or just relax and do whatever you're doing, I would just start out with a quarter of that little piece of candy because they're strong. They're 15. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do what Mike did and eat the whole thing and not even think about it. Don't do that.
And then we got the 10 count, 10 milligram gummies for $10. We got the lemon, 2 for 15, 5 milligrams. Blueberry, 2 for 15. Orange, 2 for 15. We got the shots there. Scotty was supposed to change that, but we'll see. It's 4 of them for $11. There we go. We're all set now. He changed it. He had 4 and then 5 and then 4, but it's kind of confusing. But 4 of those 10 milligram shots. And what you can do is if you want to just put like maybe a third of one in water or a half of one, then put the cap on, put it in the fridge. So it's kind of nice, really, because I really don't like taking 10 at a time when I do it. I just I usually take like a third of one of those little deals and put it in some water or whatever I'm drinking, Diet Cokes usually or something like that. I guess I'm not too healthy, Mike. You know what I mean?
Hearing me, man.
No, I'm actually pretty healthy. It's just that the Diet Pop, that's my crutch. I don't mind it. I don't drink a ton of it, but when I do, I drink some of it, So anyways, then we got the Miracle Gold for $79. That's a 2-ounce bottle, double size with THC. We got the coffee concentrates. I don't know, but Mark's crowd is really, really taken to that stuff. They love it.
The mushroom coffee, yeah.
The concentrates, too, where, see, a lot of people got their own coffees, and so just you pour an ounce of that in there or something, or I poured an ounce of it in just like fruit juice or something. I just poured an ounce of it in a Coke. That's the only thing we had left at the warehouse here to drink. So usually there's water and there's a lot of the stuff to drink, but I got to go shopping, put it that way, Mike. We're just don't have. So I put some in a Coke, and it really woke me up because I was dragging a little bit about half hour ago, 45 minutes.
Oh, anyway, no, you sound energized now. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're doing good. But then there's other products in there. Just take a look at the specials in there. And then on top, if you don't see it in there, hit the buttons on top and you can find some of those, and there's different products in there. The pet CBD, we got some lotion in there, lotion 2005 cents. We got the roll-on specialty oils. There's all kinds of stuff in there that's not on special right now, but you can still get it. Plus you get the currency and all that stuff. And then the other thing too is, let's mention this, that when you have any product you buy in there,
Mm-hmm.
but like the one where it says 4 for 10, that counts as one, not a one for every chocolate. So then I set some money aside for our humanitarian resort project, you know.
Yeah.
And, oh man, I got just literally thousands of, well, not thousands of pounds, but is it close to a ton? It might be close to a ton
Mm-hmm.
of the million bolivars set aside and locked up already. So
Wow.
yeah, we don't keep those at the warehouse, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Matt is one of those guys who's hoping that they resolve the Venezuela situation soon.
no, but on that though, Mike, you don't have to hope. I mean, it's going to happen. Okay, it's just
Yeah, I
part
know.
of the whole thing, and we want it to happen. The Russians want it to happen. The Chinese want it to happen. The Brazilians want it to happen. Guyana, right next door, surely wants it to happen because they
Yep.
got their own, and they don't want any problems. And everybody wants it to happen there, so it's going to happen. And it's just a matter of, I mean, who knows? Maybe there's some people in there they just gotta just fix up, put it that way. And I guess that's a good way to say it, but it's not like it's going to turn into a giant blowout, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like McHale's Navy going against, you know, like the whole army or something. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I was
Now,
talking about it with somebody the other day. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but
no, it's all right.
like when we went into Iraq, you know, do you remember that? I mean, and that's been a
Mm-hmm.
long time, but
Yeah.
to get in there, our guys to get in there, it was like just cutting through butter with a hot knife. You know, it was nothing. Now, once you got set up, there was different factions, sure, but they don't have those factions down there in Venezuela. So, just to say that. Well,
Yep.
anyway,
Don't have the bases and the infrastructure. That's true.
no, it's just a
Now,
clean turnover. But okay, so yeah, you talked about all that stuff. That's cool. But that's
all
why I
right.
always like the money, you know. And
Yeah.
then, hey, let me. So you get into the site, you guys. You go to the CBD Gurus, and you'll see the wholesale. Hit that button, and then go in there, and you hit Mike's name, and for the wholesale, and then you do the. If they ask for a code, ALIEN, is that right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. ALIEN. Yep. All lowercase. Yep.
Yeah, and then you're in there, and then you're all set. But let me jump out of the noise here. I'm going to go over to the office, and we'll get that. We can just talk from there, okay?
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Yeah, for
Sounds
sure.
good. Matt's going to take a little break while we let him do that. I have 2 million in Vietnamese dong. No humanitarian project. Does it mean I will get nothing? No, it means you'll get whatever the value of your 2 million Vietnamese dong is, which should still be substantial. So, your comment about the 100 trillion notes, does it have to be 100 trillion or a total? I believe it's a total. They will simply, as I understand it, they will simply, do kind of a, they will conglomerate it together. If you have 100 trillion, if you have 250 trillion notes, they will count that as a single 100 trillion. So Mark said we could get 30 to 50. Yeah, it depends on the circumstances, though, is how it's been explained to me, as I just explained it to you. It depends on how many you have and whether you're willing to support humanitarian projects. So let me ask you. Let me ask you then, Matt. Are you there? Can I?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I'm having a health problem with my ears. My eustachian tubes are totally plugged. They've been here it's been like this for a month. I've been trying to get it fixed. Gone to all the doctors. Nothing's working. Out of all the stuff that you have, it doesn't have to be something on special. How would you treat something like that? Any thoughts?
And you got ringing in the ears?
Yeah, I got ringing in the ears. I just plugged tubes behind my ears, so it's very difficult to hear anything.
And I don't, we've talked about the ringing in the ears before in there, and some people just straight CBDs helped them. Not putting it in your ear, but just taking it internally.
Yeah.
And some it hasn't. And there's no, we don't have anything that like fixes that or doesn't fix it.
What's the best thing, for inflammation? Let's say that I got inflammation in my ears, and it's causing this tubes to swell, and that's what's causing my problem. How would you treat that?
Oh, is that what it is? Like?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, man, I would see. I'm kind of I'm kind of weird in a way. It's just because of the way I grew up, and my mom used to use a lot of potions, not
Yeah.
potions, but just ailments and rub them on you. But so I would, I believe this would really help if you took the Miracle Gold, okay, not put it in your ear, but rub it around your ear if you got exposed skin, quite a bit. So it's
Okay.
in that area. And and the only reason I say it is because when I first tried CBD, and I actually had a roll on with CBD, and it's similar to the one we have now.
Yeah.
And I would rub it on my forehead because the gal at the cannabis, not the cannabis, but the dispensary in Boulder told me about
Mm-hmm.
it. That was about 2000, I think 16 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
Goes, just rub that on your head, rub it on your temples, rub it. This was for my migraines at the time.
Yeah.
Just kind of rub it around my ears, but just make sure it doesn't get in my eyes. But try to put it on the rest of your head. But
Yeah.
in my temples especially, and I should talk about that more. But people with any kind of migraines or headaches, just rub one of our strong CBD oils on their temples.
Mm-hmm.
Even that roll on, but don't get it in your eyes. That's the main thing because
Yeah.
somebody's gonna put it on top of their head and they're going to
Yeah.
sweat.
So the miracle golds then
Yeah,
would be rub it on the external
yeah.
around the ear.
And
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be that. I think you're going to have to do it quite a few times because
Yeah.
usually you guys, when you take our stuff, especially pets, if they're walking bad or even people. I mean, but the only reason I say pets sometimes is because the pets ain't going to lie to you. And I've seen the CBD. No matter where you get it, trust me, it if you it can work on your pet just like in an afternoon. And
Yeah.
because they won't walk if they don't feel good, with their
Yeah.
legs, but all of a sudden you get some good stuff in there. Next thing you know, they're up walking around. I seen it. First time I seen it, I was amazed because I'd always see this dog at a business and he would just lay in the corner. And then he was walking around and shit. And they were giving him CBD every day. And it's like, good Lord,
Mm-hmm.
look at him, you know?
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
happy too. So real
Yeah.
happy.
Absolutely. That's another thing is Barkley he's still going to be checked. He's still got a lot of tests to go, but he's made uh, quite an extraordinary recovery since I've started giving him the CBD pet oil. And what I do is he's got a water dish, and the cats sometimes drink out of it too. I just put a few drops in there every day, and that's really since I started doing that and a few other things. He's started to recover his eyesight back, which is I think pretty amazing.
Yeah,
And he,
that is amazing. You know, I
yeah,
mean that's cool. That's awesome. And I've even in that order I've seen dogs and um, not cats, but I'm sure they do it. But I've seen dogs sit there after you give them CBD or treats. All of a sudden they're pretty smart. They'll all of a sudden just come and sit by you, especially the next day at the same time, and they're looking at you, and that's what they want. And then you give it to them again, and for some reason they know what's good for them. They always know what's good for
yeah,
them.
yeah, they do, and they're attracted to it. So, all right,
Yeah.
if anybody has any questions, either on the Rumble side or the YouTube side, let's get in there and get them for Matt. If not, Matt, what do you got coming up? Anything new coming out? I know you've been working on. You and your sorcerers there are always coming up with new stuff.
Yeah,
You and Lucas.
Lucas has got at least 3 vitamin gummies coming, and then we've also got a capsule, and we just stuff I experiment with at home, and then it does real good for me, and
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, we'll be coming out with that pretty soon as he gets it all made. But he's pretty Lucas, my partner. He's pretty good. He let's see, I got 3 other business partners. I got yeah, and Lucas is one of them, and Kevin and the Scotty guy.
Yeah.
But he comes up with stuff, and he really they test it overboard because they have a certification that they have to. They've got a full-time lab guy on site, and he's always experimenting with different gummies and this and that. But the formula's got to be exactly right, and and so they, they make products for other people.
Yeah.
So they're always doing. They got to be pretty real. They can't screw around, And then in the business I'm in over the years, there's a lot of screwing around. People are putting together stuff, and God knows where.
You don't sample your own product, right, guys? Just keep that in mind. You get stoned all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a question from Connie Anderson. Says, do you have anything for dogs with congestive heart failure? Any suggestions on?
God, and one thing, and we don't do any stuff for the parasites,
Yeah.
and the thing that, if I was a betting person, and Mike, you're in Vegas,
yeah,
I would literally bet. I'd bet $100 against 40 that it's somehow parasitic related, with that pet because of what you just said, especially if the dog's younger.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Mike? You probably know.
Yeah,
about
I do. I think that's a reasonable thing. It's heartworm medication. I would say that the thing to do is there's a lot of dewormers and stuff that are fenben based, fenbendazole.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because some dogs, like Barkley, is an Aussie Shepherd, and Shepherds they don't tolerate ivermectin very well, but they do tolerate fenben. So I would say go to Amazon, find a fenben based dewormer, and don't even worry about whether it says it's for the heart or not. Just put your doggy on it and see what happens, and hope that it comes out for the better. So I do
really what Mike just said, take that to heart, because that is so true, and people they know it now, and God, how many years the little dogs, they're all they do is run around, and then they get the bad heart. My dog had the same thing, and I'm sure it was parasites too, but 10 years ago, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't know. Just try treating parasites. Knock on wood or plastic or whatever I'm knocking on here. But, Brooks Agnew, Dr. Brooks, is on my Tuesday show. He introduced me to ivermectin. He told me about it like in 2022 or 2021. And I haven't had a cold or the flu since. I've had sinus infections, but those are bacterial. And that's a problem for me. But in terms of anything viral, as soon as I feel like I'm starting to get a cold or the flu, pop the ivermectin, and it never turns into a cold. It never turns into the flu. It just goes away. And we didn't even know how to treat these kinds of things in the past.
No, and it's
now we do.
Yeah, now we do. Sure.
IGW is asking, what might work for sciatic nerve pain caused by arthritis? I'd like to know the answer to that one too.
Well, somebody tried to call me.
Yeah, you got interrupted there.
Okay, so anyways, I'm just gonna give you something, because I had exactly that, and it's and do we have stuff that can help with it? Yeah. Is it gonna cure it? I don't think so. Okay. And
right.
And so what I'm gonna tell you the cure here, and it's the only reason I've been dealing with that for it's probably since '98 or something. But
yeah.
Anyways, I got it fixed one way in the early 2000s, and then I had it fixed a year and a half ago, and it's like night and day. So anyways, I'll tell you what we have that can help you. I would steadily, the mushrooms, like the 5 mushrooms, are going to really help that. That's our Matrix product. But it's not a fast help, okay? The mushrooms are a slow, steady, not slow, but I think you'll notice a huge difference in 6 to 9 months. But even before that, you'll notice it, but not as much. It's not like CBD and THC, which is pretty much immediate, really starts rolling. Because at the same time, it's not only, it's masking your pain, but it's also healing. See, when you take Tylenol or opiates or anything over the counter, it masks your pain, but it doesn't heal. And that's the difference. In mushrooms, they just don't have the immediate pain relief. They're you'll get a little relaxed on certain ones, that's for sure. But it's the CBD and the THC that affects your pain, and actually, as it's helping the pain go down, it's healing at the same time. So, but the mushrooms are great. They'll work hand in hand because I don't know. You probably know a lot about the mushrooms too, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I've been taking those like crazy for the last 2.5 years, and my nerve damage is down to nothing. So, okay, the
Wow.
sciatic. Okay.
So when you say that, which ones are helping the most? You're saying the 5 matrix
Yeah, the
mushroom?
5 matrix, the lion's mane, and I don't take turkey nail, but it's in the 5 matrix. The reason probably is I well, you know what, I I pop the gummies too, especially if I'm hungry at lunch and I'm just trying to lose a couple pounds or something. I'll just pop a couple lion's mane. For some reason, I can make it to dinner. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But it's the lion's mane and the mushrooms there in the 5 matrix we have, and then the turkey tail. I take that. I would say I take that half the time I do with the lion's mane. Okay. And
Okay.
but some people take it more. That's just the way I am. Now, to help tell you the sciatic pain thing, okay? There's 3 things that are gonna affect that and make it do it, okay? Because I've been through the doctors, the orthopedists, and everything else, okay? So the there may be some fragments on your spine, okay? As you get older, the
Mm-hmm.
arthritis, it's pushing into that nerve. As it goes down, it's building up. Okay. Now, can the orthopedist tell exactly what's doing it? No, he can't. It could be doing that plus that nerve is inflamed, and once it's inflamed, you can inflame it with exercise. Okay, you can inflame it with getting your inflammation down. Okay, drastically. So when they used to do that in the early 2000s to uninflame nerves, they would kind of guess, okay, because they didn't have as sophisticated ultrasound maybe, or they can see it. But now in the when they do it to you, they can actually see the nerves like strings. They're that
Mm-hmm.
they can see them under a certain screen they have now, which the doctor told me they didn't have that before. And they can look at your nerves coming off your spine, okay,
Yeah.
which is your sciatic nerve going down, and they
Yeah.
can see exactly where it is, where it's inflamed. And so what they do now, and this is why uh, it's not as easy. That's kind of a complicated deal there, because you got to go see the orthopedist, but you also got to go see the orthopedist, like in the Twin Cities here, where I live in Minnesota, that area.
Yep.
At the time I got it done a year and a half ago, that doctor doing that kind of operation, he was probably only 1 in 4, in town. Maybe less than that, maybe 1 in 3. Now there's maybe 10 guys that do that kind of thing. So if
Yeah.
you go to your orthopedist, depending on what size of town you're in, you may not have that available to you, where they can look right at your nerves and they can see them. They can see them as clear as a string coming off a wall. Okay. And they can, if it's inflamed, they'll shoot it's a steroid solution in there that'll shrink it down within hours and keep
Mm-hmm.
it. For my case, it shrunk down. It doesn't bother me anymore. But he also said at that point, well, if that doesn't work, that means that we got some jagged arthritis going into that nerve from your spine. And
Yeah.
that's it's actually a real easy surgery. They just go in there and they file it down, sew you back up, and you're probably going to be off to the races in 2 weeks. It doesn't take long at all, because
Sounds good.
yeah. So it's that's a real hot one, because that comes up on another show all the time too, you guys, and it's not as easy as just taking a pill. You got to get in and see the right orthopedist, but when it is fixed, it'll change your life, because you're fine then.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really good.
Good stuff. Okay, Matt. Anything else you want to feature or talk about for people this week coming up on Christmas? I imagine if it snows there, it's going to be beautiful in Minneapolis.
Oh yeah, we already got a lot of snow. We probably got a a foot on the ground already. And
Yeah, good.
maybe more than that, maybe a foot over. Yeah. Well, anyways, no, that's it, Mike. So I'll appreciate you having me on, and go in and support Mike and buy some good stuff and feel better.
Yep. Slide down, go to the wholesale tab, slide down to Mike B Wholesale, type in the discount code ALIEN, no capital A, no S, and get this week's specials. And yeah, man, I'm going to try a couple of those things. I've got a bunch of the, what do we call it? The black seed oil, the Miracle Gold. And I'm gonna put that on my
skin around there because it'll penetrate it there for sure.
Yeah, around my sinuses and around my ears and my tubes. And of course, I'll do that after I get home for the evening. But I don't know if it's gonna smell. But anyway, I'm gonna try that, and I'll let you know how it works. And like I said, I think what you've done with the CBD pet oil with Barkley has worked a miracle. So that's Matt Johnson from the CBD Gurus, one of the best guys on the planet. So that's going to wrap it up. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks a lot, Mike, and you have a good weekend. Everybody out there too, okay?
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And guys, have a good one. Let's wait and see if anything happens this weekend. I think it's going to be interesting to watch. Remember, the 15th is Monday, so we're getting up on things. This might be our best shot for this year, is this weekend coming up. So keep our fingers crossed, stay hopeful, stay positive, and spend time planning what you are going to do with this benefit, this whole blessing when it comes pouring down on you. All right. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next week with Jen. Go Hawks. Love ya. Bye.